Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So some interesting news coming out of the heavyweight division in relation to Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, of course, a former WBO heavyweight champion, just recently beat Junior Fa in New Zealand, and after that fight it was announced that Joseph Parker had left his longtime trainer Kevin Barry. And some news now has broke in regards to who Joseph Parker will train with next. And according to reports, and this one came out of left field to me, but according to reports, Joseph Parker is going to link up with Andy Lee. Now, I wasn't expecting that, quite frankly. Of course, Andy Lee back in the day was a good fighter at middleweight, hard puncher, and he achieved a lot in the sport of boxing, and he's just starting out as a trainer. Of course, Andy Lee was part of that Tyson Fury camp for the second Deontay Wilder fight, and Andy Lee also trains the young prospect out of Ireland, Paddy Donovan, who is a good prospect. So Andy Lee is just getting started in the trainer's game. And yeah, interesting move for me. When the split from Kevin Barry was originally announced, it was said that Joseph Parker wanted to spend more time in New Zealand. Does that mean Andy Lee's going to base himself in New Zealand when Joseph Parker's fighting? Or will Joseph Parker actually train in the UK as well? Because if this move is to go ahead and Joseph Parker spends significant time in the UK with his during his training camps, I think that's a good thing, because ultimately, you know, places like the UK have access to better sparring, and for me that is key for Joseph Parker right now. He needs access to great sparring, great training, and I think being based in the UK would certainly help that, you know. And, you know, Andy Lee as a trainer, obviously the jury is out, but I remain optimistic that Andy Lee is going to make a good trainer. Obviously, not all ex-fighters make good trainers, but Andy Lee's got a way of breaking down the sport technically that has always really impressed me. He's good at analysing the sport, you know, picking out certain things and whatnot. He reads the sport really well, and I think that's obviously a good sign of a good trainer. So I remain optimistic that Andy Lee can be a good trainer in the sport of boxing. And yeah, he's obviously had experience with Tyson Fury, with Paddy Donovan, his new prospect. So he's getting his feet wet in the sport of boxing when it comes to training. And yeah, this is certainly a big job for Andy Lee as such a young trainer. But interesting move. I really wasn't expecting this one. All I'm hoping, like I said, is that Joseph Parker spends significant time in the UK during his training camps, because I'll say it again, to me that just allows him to get access to better sparring. Getting sparring to New Zealand is exceptionally hard. It's on the other end of the world and far away from the other countries that are, you know, players in the heavyweight division. And a lot of people won't want to travel to New Zealand just to spar. That's just how it is. So I would like to see Joseph Parker base himself in the UK for his training camps. And this is an interesting move for me. I was assuming that Joseph Parker would stick with a trainer in New Zealand, but it looks like that's not the case. He's going to go with Andy Lee. So yeah, I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts below. What do you make of this move for Joseph Parker? Do you think it's a good thing, or do you need to wait until you hear a few more details? And what do you think about Andy Lee? Do you believe he's got the potential to be a good trainer, or are you not convinced? Me personally, I do believe there is potential there for Andy Lee as a trainer, for the reasons I mentioned earlier. But interesting, really interesting news. All I'm hoping for is somebody to get the best out of Joseph Parker, because I think he's been slacking for a long time now. I think he's stagnated as a fighter, and he needs that new lease of energy. The guy's got good attributes. He's got a good chin, respectable power, decent hand speed, solid boxing ability. Joseph Parker's a solid fighter all round, and he's got a lot of attributes that a lot of heavyweights would kill for, mainly that chin. So, you know, if somebody could unlock that potential, I think Joseph Parker would be a much better fighter, and I'm hoping Andy Lee can be that guy. But yeah, share your thoughts below. What do you make of this news? Peace.